Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Dadang Shaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasvating Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayet. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Before reciting this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should first offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, and the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and the Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Purport. All the Vedic literatures and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. The living being is in the state of forgetfulness of his relation with God due to his being overly attracted to material sense gratification from time immemorial. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual, and it is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. If he all wants to conquer this perpetual struggle for existence, he must reestablish his eternal relation with God, and one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literatures such as the Vedas and the Puranas. Foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. However, the Puranas are supplementary explanations of the Vedas intended for the different types of men. All men are not equal. There are many who are conducted in the mode of goodness, others in the mode of passion, and those who are in the mode of ignorance. The Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain their lost position and get out of the hard struggle for existence. Srila Siddha Goswami shows the way of chanting the Puranas. This may be followed by persons who aspire to be preachers of the Vedic literatures and the Puranas. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a spotless Purana. It is especially meant for those who desire to get out of the immaterial entanglement permanently. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sajaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamshcha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschamya Deshatarine. So, we have read here today in the most enlightening purport of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada, about those who want to get out of the material entanglement permanently. So that immediately raises the question, well, are there some who want to get out of it temporarily? The karmis, they just want to enjoy, try to squeeze pleasure out of that place where there is no pleasure at all to be gotten. Like the pig trying to enjoy the pig pen. Maya sukhaya, illusory happiness. But what about those who want to get out of it temporarily? Well, that's the Mayavadis. They think they're getting out permanently. But actually they're only getting out of it temporarily. Aruya Krishna padam 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 pidam yusmarasnareka. They fall back again. Aruya Krishna. What is that verse? You see? Batanti and ho. They fall back again to material existence. They may get some temporary relief, but actually that is not a liberated position. The actual liberated position means to become desireless. All materials, all desire is zero, you see. Some may say, well, don't devotees have desires? Devotees actually have no desires for personal sense gratification. And the position of desiring only to please Krishna, that is called desirelessness. The Mayavadis may say desirelessness, but they desire to become God. Talking about sense gratification. Someone desires to become a Birla or become a Rockefeller or whatever, some famous wealthy person in the material world. That is certainly a desire. The Mayavadis might have a bigger desire. Why become a Birla when I can become God? You see? It's not very common in America. We never heard about Mayavada philosophy growing up as a Christian. But from India we got this. In India it's very, very popular. Guru Maharaj was speaking to that lady last night. She was talking about the Creator, but ultimately she was Mayavad conception. In India it's very, very popular. But it was brought to America by persons who got it from India. Like one writer called Alan Watts, he wrote a book called The Book. Subtitle, on the taboo against knowing who you are. So the book thought, actually you're God, right now you're playing hide and go seek with yourself, so come out of hiding and become God once again. And there's others, many, now even there's some fellow on the internet now promoting it. Somehow I'm on his email list, he sends me these very flashy, it's all one. We went to a yoga studio must have been Adelaide, Vijayadhara Swami. And there, it's all one. You see. This is coming from India, Mayavad philosophy. So it doesn't really work. It's actually very easy to defeat it. Everything is one, how could it ever be in Maya? In other words, the enlightened state and the unenlightened state, that's duality right there. If it's all one, there cannot be any unenlightened state. There's only the state of being enlightened. You can't ever be non-enlightened if it's all one. Enlightenment and non-enlightenment, that's duality. You understand that point? That is also duality. So the very fact that I want to become, want to merge into God, proves that it shows that it's a false philosophy. If it's all God, how can it ever not be God? You see, however I can become a dog, or an engineer or whatever. So Bhagavatam kicks out all these false philosophies. There's different Puranas for those in different modes, but we're interested in the spotless Purana, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We're not interested in any concessionary instructions how to function in passion or ignorance. Even pure goodness, even in material goodness, we're not interested in. We want to go beyond material goodness to Shuddha Sattva. The mode of goodness is not pure because there's still tinges of passion and ignorance mixed with it. So we want to go to pure goodness. Goodness is not enough. That goodness is not enough. By the grace of the bona fide spiritual masters, we can actually be liberated from all the modes, ignorance, passion, and goodness, and come to the transcendental platform. As Prabhupada points out, he must re-establish his eternal relation with God. This is not artificial, in other words. You already have a relation with God. Not that you have to start some new thing. I wasn't related with God, and now I have to become related with God. Nahi. Re-establish it means it's already there, now it is to get back to it. Get back to where you once belonged. Jivarasa Rupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. Prabhupada also says, if he all wants to conquer this perpetual struggle for existence, in other words, if you don't re-establish a relationship with God, you're going to go on struggling perpetually. Do you want to struggle perpetually? Or you want to put an end to the struggle? We have a choice. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Namushanam sahasreshu. Unfortunately, only few even think about taking it, and those who do take it, they get misled by the bogus, the Mayavadis. So to actually desire to get liberated and actually get properly situated with the pure devotee spiritual master, as we were situated with the Prabhupada, you see, that is very, very, very rare situation. Extremely rare, you see. So somehow we're connected with the bona fide sampradaya, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya sampradaya. By unlimited good fortune, somehow or other I got connected. There's one saying, do not look a gift horse in the mouth. I don't know if in India they have that same. In America it's the same. But in other words, if a great opportunity comes, take it. If some unlimited good fortunes come to you, don't be an idiot. Do not take it. Take it. Take the mercy, take the mercy, take the mercy. Those hippie boys at 26th Avenue, some took it, some didn't. Those who took it, they're very, very fortunate. Sattva Rupa, especially, he's been hanging there all along. Others took it for some time, they went over, but Sattva Rupa still hangs in his 80s, he's still hanging in there. Writing books. He was a writer before he became a devotee, so he trashed he put all of his writings in the incinerator and trashed all of them. But now he's written 200 books. Sattva Rupa has written 200 books. I told him I also trashed my 300 songs. Should I write songs? He said, yes, you should write songs. He told me I should keep writing songs. I was a songwriter before. He told me I should keep writing songs. That's my instruction. He's my first GBC also. He told me I should keep writing songs. So we take advantage of the example of those persons who actually took it very seriously and never gave it up. And stuck with it decade after decade after decade after decade. If we follow the example of such personalities, then our lives become glorious. Mahajana yena gata sapanta. Follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Just like we're lost in the forest, we're totally lost, we're bewildered, we were on a camping trip and we got completely lost. We went wandering in the woods, when we totally lost, we forgot where our camp was, we forgot how we got in there. Wherever we go, we're just lost in the woods. You see? But then you discover a footpath. Oh, here's a footpath. Now I found a footpath. Just got to follow that pathway. So here we are, lost in the forest of material existence. It's probably since time immemorial. You cannot calculate it. It's incalculable. How long have you been caught up here in the cycle of birth and death? Incalculable. You say, well, millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions. You just keep going on. You can't even calculate how long we've been here. You see. Some things we can calculate, even big numbers we can calculate. But this one you can't calculate. I'll give you an example. A lifetime of Brahma. We can calculate it. Even though it's pretty humongous, we can calculate that. He's just like there's 4 yugas, Sankhya yugas, 1,728,000 years, Treta 1,296,000 years, Dwapara 864,000 years, Kali 432,000 years. So you take 1,000 yugas, it comes out to, if you add those numbers up, 1,728,000, 1,296,000, 864,000, 432,000. Add those 4 together. What does it come to? 4,300,000, 4,320,000 years. That's Brahma's one day. And there's a night also. So you add his day and his night, his 24 hours is 8,640,000,000 years. And then you say, well, that's his 124 hours, and how many days in the year times 360 times 100, and then that's how long you live. It's pretty, in your calculator, you can't put the whole numbers in there. They give you an E. It's 311,040,000,000,000 years. It's pretty, it's pretty inconceivable, but you can actually measure it. 311,040,000,000,000 years. But how long we've been here, that you can't even calculate it. Even the biggest calculator. With an infinite number of zeros, you can't calculate how long we've been here. It's incalculable. We've even been Brahmajis in a previous lifetime. Can you have you were a Brahmaji? You were a Brahma in a previous lifetime. We weren't happy being a Brahma. We've tried so many ways to be happy here. This, that, we've gone through 8,400,000 different attempts to be happy, and we failed every time. You see. So let us now no longer be misled by the material nature. Let us now no longer be misled by the material nature to think I can squeeze pleasure out of that place where no pleasure exists. Let us take advantage of the teachings of great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada and the predecessors. Let us take full advantage of the teachings of these great personalities, you see, to wake up, get out of the bodily consciousness. I'm male, I'm female, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm 78, I'm 35. Kick it out with boob. You're an eternal youth. Qualitatively, one will do. There used to be a popular song called, when I was a kid, called Sweet 16. It was considered a very sweet age to be 16. It's considered the prime age. And after 16, well, now you're going down physically. But that's the age. Krishna's a 16-year-old boy. That's his prime age. What is it called? Kaishora age. Yeah. And that's the prime age for everyone. We're all teenagers, eternal teenagers, sweet 16ers, you see, enjoying the eternal youth. What's your age now?
27.
Huh?
27.
37?
27.
27. Yeah. You see. You're past the prime, going down. You see. So, let us get back now to our actual eternal identities. Not waste our time playing around in misery. Here we are in misery, playing around and trying to please pleasure or the place of pleasure where pleasure does not exist. It's foolishness. So let's look into this nice purport, see what's come in. All Vedic literatures and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. You can look at it too. We know the proper understanding. Material existence is itself the darkest region. Or somebody could interpret it differently. Well, there's different regions of material existence. There's the lighter region and the darker region. Of course, even that's true. There's the hellish, heavenly planets, the hellish planets. But their understanding is, in this context, darkest region, the whole material existence is the darkest region. The darkest region of existence is the material world, and the brightest portion is the spiritual world. And now we have some more enlightening information. The living being is in the state of forgetfulness of relation with God due to his being overly attracted to material sense gratification. It's also interesting here, overly attracted. I mean, does that mean that being attracted is okay as long as you're not overly attracted? No, being attracted at all. But we could even leave them out overly and it would still be true, being attracted to material sense gratification. That would also be a reason for entanglement. Of course, you can be attracted and being overly attracted also. In other words, those in the everyone is attracted, but those in the mode of ignorance are more attracted. The mode of goodness, they're still attracted, but less attracted. Different degrees of being attracted to material sense gratification. And some people just want the gross things, sex, pleasure, the tongue, the belly, the genitals. There's some who are more interested in more subtle things, you see. Poetry, philosophy, music. That's also sense gratification, but it's more subtle. You see. There's gross, there's also subtle sense gratification. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual, and it is not possible for him to get out by making plans. That's an interesting one, by making plans. What does making plans mean? What kind of plans do we make? Well, I'm not happy living in a simple village in a straw hut, but I will move to the city and become happy where I can make some rupees. Here I'm just milking my cow and growing some food. I don't have any rupees to spend on the lottery. I'm going to move to the city so I can have some rupees to bet on the lottery. And that's my plan. I'm out of the city. That I can get a job and have some rupees to bet on the lottery. It's interesting to see even how I was a little surprised to see on their way to Kamyavam, when I was going to Bhakti Chaitanya's group. We passed one straw hut and they had a solar panel on top of the hut. A little thatched straw hut with a solar panel. I was going, wow. What do they need a solar panel for? And the funniest thing was when I went to one other place, it was like, they call it Badrinath in Braj, up in some hill country. And one Brahman, he wanted some dakshinas, so he didn't speak English, so he wrote me in English. He said, I'm a poor Brahmin, can give you a donation. It was on his iPhone. Huh?
iPhone.
Yeah, and he had it written on his iPhone. To show me as a poor Brahmin needed some dakshina on his iPhone. So they make plans, by getting a solar panel on top of the hut or getting an iPhone, now they can be happy. They make so many plans by building a skyscraper building. Just like formerly they had the carriages with a horse, and of course in India it was the ox cart. In America it was called the horse and buggy. They were killing the cows, so they used the horses, called horse and buggy. And then they invented, somebody named Ford, he developed what's called the horseless carriage. Now we will be happy. We don't need a horse, we can just give some petrol, we can just go down the street. They make all these plans, and then that's not enough. Now you have to have an electric car. We have to have, then we had, the Wright brothers invented the airplane. So all these different plans, how we can be happy. They make so many plans how we weren't happy in this way, so now we try to be happy in that way. Yes, we'll be happy in this way, we'll go electric, and we'll go with an internet. All these things, now we can really be happy, and we're not happy. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, someone's not happy making $1,000 a month, so they strike for wages, they get $1,500, now I'll be happy I get $1,500 a month, and they're still not happy, they want $2,000 a month. No matter what you do, and no matter what arrangements you make to be happy, still you're not satisfied. Because we're trying to enjoy artificially. Yes, trying to enjoy artificially. So let us stop trying to enjoy artificially. Let us get to being actually our real position. Does this make sense to you? Or not?
Yes.
It makes sense. So now let us put it into practice. It's one thing to realize it, the next thing is to practice it. We have a saying in America, practice makes perfect. Anything, if you want to perfect it, you have to practice it. Want to be a perfect, perfect anything. Become a perfect drum player, you got to practice it. Perfect cook. You want to perfect anything, it requires, you can't just theoretically think I will perfect it. You have to actually put it into practice. By practicing, you can become perfect. Practice makes perfect. So therefore we have sadhana bhakti. We practice becoming Krishna conscious. Right now, we're not in a perfectional stage, but Rupa Goswami has very kindly given us, and Prabhupada has given us, taking it from Rupa Goswami, he's given us practical techniques, and Prabhupada simplified it actually. Rupa Goswami was speaking 500 years ago on a much higher level, people at a much higher level. So Prabhupada simplified it. You go in the Nectar Devotion, it's shocking all the different rules and regulations. It's a little bit, but Prabhupada simplified it for us. Just like, instead of 64 rounds down to 16. You see? So Prabhupada made it very easy for us. So but even then they find it difficult. So many people left this movement. It was too much for them because they weren't serious about becoming self-realized. They weren't serious about awakening pure love of God within the heart. So let us be serious. I must now get out of this entanglement in serving these ridiculous senses that are demanding, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. We should not become slaves of these servants, because what do you get at the end? Slave of these senses, I mean to say. Not this. We should not be a slave, the servant of these senses, because all you get is death. Get an old body falling apart. Everything goes wrong. You think it's okay now, wait till you get your 70s. You have to get to your 70s and see what it's like then. Mataji's nodding, yes. Wait till you get to your 70s. You think it's not so bad now, wait till you get to your 70s and see what the body is going through. And then the 80s, look at Satsvarupa Maharaj. He's really withered. Somehow he's still holding on. I was seeing a video of him the other day. His body is really in bad shape. But he's still hanging there writing. He said, I will write books until I die. He's really dedicated to writing. And I'll keep doing this until I die, he said. So, but the things just never go downhill, 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 worse and worse and worse. So the point is, don't try to enjoy your body being middle-aged or whatever. Don't try to enjoy them, being young. Go for that place where there's actual happiness. We want Ananda, not Nirananda. Material world, Nirananda, there's no happiness. This ghastly, ungodly place. Of course, for the devotee, everywhere is godly. The devotee can extract Krishna wherever he goes. That's the beauty of being actually Krishna conscious. It's that first time I heard Prabhupada speak in San Francisco. Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun. Open the curtain a little bit. See the sunlight? I'm the light of the sun. Now you close it again. Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun. Sometimes we're walking back to the MBT after Mangalarti, the beautiful moon. Sashishariyo, Krishna says. We can see the moon up there, beautiful moon. Ah, Krishna. Or the taste of water also. So if you're actually Krishna conscious, you experience Krishna everywhere, because Krishna is he is between every atom, within every atom. There's nowhere where Krishna is not present. He's present everywhere. So the pure devotee can contact Krishna in all times, all places, and all circumstances. There's no place he goes that he's not seeing Krishna, not experiencing Krishna. So we have to learn from great Vaishnava acharyas like his Srila Prabhupada how to always be connected with Krishna in every situation. Never to feel disconnected from Krishna. Always to feel I'm connected with Krishna. Just like when you plug in an appliance, then it works properly. So we are meant to be plugged into Krishna, you see. If we're not plugged in, we cannot function properly unless we're plugged into Krishna. Are you plugged in? If we're not plugged in, we're not functioning, we're not able to function properly. It may be a very nice appliance, but it's not plugged in, it's useless. It's a useless piece of junk if it's not plugged in. So let's see if we have any questions?
Locally.
Any questions? Let's see.
Locally.
Yeah, both. Any questions? Okay. Local come first, yes.
Here it is mentioned in the purport that we should not be overly attracted. You said that.
Yeah, overly
So is
attached.
there any how to draw
Huh?
a line? You said that we should not be overly attracted, but
We should not be attracted or overly attracted.
attracted or overly attracted.
Both must be avoided. If you're not attracted, you don't have to worry about being overly attracted. If you're not attracted at all, you've covered everything.
So how to live without getting attracted to
Hmm?
in material world, when we are living, sometimes we get attracted to this pen or something, not overly, but
Actually, for Krishna's service, you'd be attracted to everything. How can I use this for Krishna? How can I use that for Krishna? Devotee doesn't artificially renounce everything. He uses everything in Krishna's service. Just like I can be attracted to this iPad using it for Krishna, not for porno. You see? Devotee can use everything in Krishna's service. He's not artificially renouncing like the Mayavad. He doesn't go to the forest. Prabhupada rode on airplanes all over the world. Jet age powered by Jakacharya. Isn't it?
so that is not attracted. That is, when we use it in Krishna service, then it is not.
If being overly attracted means going really, both are bad, but overly attracted is even worse. Becoming very sinful. Like a prostitute hunter, for example. You can be overly attracted, even worse. Attracted is bad enough, but overly attracted is even worse. That means you're going down to get a very sinful reactions, going down to a very abominable position in the next lifetime. Does that make sense? Anything else? Yes.
As your Grace were mentioning, like complete desirelessness, pure love for Krishna is actually the complete desirelessness.
Yes, that is the perfection of desirelessness. There is an artificial desirelessness of the Mayavadis, but they still have desire.
So pleasing Krishna is actually desireless.
Doing what, Krishna?
Pleasing Krishna.
Pleasing Krishna. That's the perfection of desirelessness. Desiring only to please Krishna, that is the perfection of desire. Then you have no more material desires. Everyone else has material desires. The Mayavadis also have the ultimate material desire to become God. So desiring to please Krishna means you have no more desires for sense gratification, no more desires for yourself. All material desires is zero, you only want to please Krishna.
Then the question arises, Gurudev, like pleasing Krishna 24 hours, like one should know which thing.
We should know.
One should know what with Krishna will be pleased with this activity what we do.
One.
No, like Krishna will be pleased when we do something for Krishna. What should one do to please him? Like
What should we do to please him?
yeah.
He tells us in the Bhagavad Gita. Always chanting my glories, tatatam kirtayanto mam. The Bhagavad Gita tells us exactly what we need to do to please him. We have the instruction book, How to Please Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar Devotion. These are our guidebooks, How to Please Krishna. There's no guesswork. It's a science. Here's exactly what you need to do to please Krishna. There's no guesswork. Isn't it? Question coming in from the internet. Can one overcome attractions and entanglement just by remembering Krishna all the time? Yeah, absolutely. But the trouble is we don't remember Krishna all the time. So we have so many things that will help us become more Krishna conscious. Deity worship, Sankirtan, classes. It's the fact that if you simply remember Krishna 24 hours a day, then everything is perfect. Because we're not able to do that, we have so many things that will help us come to that position of 24 hours a day Krishna Smaranam. Another question. If one thinks one is victim, it is bodily consciousness, how one can overcome it. We're a victim of our own foolishness. We're victims of our own idiocy. What is the word? Idiocy, yeah. The reflection of our own idiocy. We thought we could enjoy separately from Krishna, so now we're victims of our own foolishness.
How to rectify?
How to overcome it? By hearing from Krishna, from hearing from the bona fide spiritual masters. In this way we can actually learn how to not be torturing ourselves by trying to serve the senses instead of serving Krishna. Next question. How can one become more successful in devotional service if they are not allowed to go to the temple? Then go to the temple within your heart. Obviously you made some stupid mistakes and misbehaved in some crazy ways, but they don't want you to come to the temple, so you have to find the temple within your heart now. Krishna's within your heart, so you sincerely chant. You go to the temple within your heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way, overcome the craziness within your own heart, and someday they'll be begging you to come to the temple. Because you overcome your craziness by taking complete shelter of Krishna. Anything else? Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to make people understand their suffering.
Yeah. They think they're happy. They think they're happy. That's true. So what's the question? How to convince them they're suffering? How to convince them they're not happy and they need Krishna consciousness?
How to understand Krishna consciousness is more
is better than the material life? Well, you become convinced first of all. By your own conviction is a, quote, contagious disease, unquote. The more you become convinced, they will automatically become convinced by your conviction. In other words, if we're kind of iffy and we're trying to be Krishna conscious, we're still being pulled with the material desires this way and that way, it'd be hard to convince them. But somebody like Prabhupada, you see, is completely, totally fixed. He convinced thousands of people by his conviction. So you must increase your own conviction by going deeper, deeper, deeper into the science of bhakti. And by that, as your conviction becomes more and more powerful, you can convince the whole world. You have to strengthen your own conviction. And becoming well-read in this philosophy also, in the books. By reading Prabhupada's books and see how Prabhupada defeats the concept of material pleasure, reading the books will empower you greatly. Like a soldier goes into the battlefield with weapons, isn't it? A quiver full of arrows or a rifle full of bullets. So by studying these books, you can have a whole quiver of arrows of transcendental knowledge. That will empower you also to know some verses, to have some very good examples of how this material world is no fit place for a gentleman to live. Your own conviction, also having shastras and examples from Prabhupada to back you up in your explanation. So our time is almost up. Any last questions?
Yeah. Continuing was Mataji's question, like normally people are not convinced when we say, yes, this body is temporary, everything is momentary, but they say no.
It doesn't fit. I know last night speaking to those doctors and nurses, most of them, they weren't phased at all. They're just sitting there. I could see in their faces, they're just sitting there. It didn't faze them. They came with a duty. It was part of their daily schedule. They're supposed to come and attend this program. It's part of their duties as a doctor or nurse. And I could see it wasn't phasing them.
Is
isn't it our duty to make them appealing so they can hear properly?
So that's the whole point of her question.
Yes.
How we can become more expert to convince them. Prabhupada can convince thousands. We're not on that level of Prabhupada. So we have to try to come to that level. So we convince the whole world. That's our duty, to convince the whole world. So we have to become more convinced, more learned, more compassionate also. If we actually feel compassion, our heart is bleeding with to see how much they're suffering. That will also empower us, compassion. Feel genuine compassion for their suffering condition. It's hard, we're very hard-hearted neophytes, to be honest. Some of us, at least, are hard-hearted. Like me, we're hard-hearted neophytes. It's hard for us to break through and actually touch their souls. It's difficult sometimes. Like it goes in one and out the other ear. But we tell them it doesn't go into the heart. So how we can explain it in such a way it touches their heart, that's the real point. Not just yes, 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 by no, yes. How to awaken them. That's a real challenge we have as preachers, but as I explained previously in this class, practice makes perfect. The more you endeavor to do that, the more you can have success. I mean, I was amazed. I met with one devotee in Honolulu on Bhuktashiva, Jayadesh. And he wasn't selling books, he was making relationships. And he sold so many books, but he wasn't out to sell books, he was out to make relationships with people. And they felt something, a connection with him as a person. And they wanted they could sense his compassion, his friendship, his genuineness. They wanted to reciprocate, but they took a book to reciprocate with his genuineness. It's amazing to watch him in action. Spent a whole day with him. But for many hours I went out just to see how he was doing it. It was amazing to watch him in action.
It's amazing. Can we learn also?
Huh?
It's amazing. So can we learn also?
And also?
Can we learn?
Absolutely, we have to learn. We have to learn from him. He was so expert. Somebody rode by in a motorcycle, and they're going around the corner. He had a book. He stuck a book in their hand. They stopped and bought a book. They're walking. They come around the corner and on their motorcycle. He held a. It's amazing to watch him do that. Some transgender person, actually.
Thanks, sir.
All right, time is up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.